I'm about work, I'm about career, and tomorrow I'm gonna introduce myself to the new department head and make her fall in love with me.
Yes, that's my baby.
See? I've been healed by Black Girl Magic.
Single and ready to mingle. The ladies of Amazon's hit series Harlem are not sorry about maintaining their solo status. Welcome back to Revolt Black News Weekly. I'm Naima Abdullahi. Now, as more and more Black women are seemingly saying I do not when it comes to marriage, we're getting deeper into the debate about the future of the Black family unit. We're gonna hash it out with our panel today. Joining me, content creators Dominique Daniel and Tynesha Waters, and femininity coach and author Kendra Davis, and our very own entertainment correspondent, Kennedy Rue McCullough. We're gonna start with you, Kennedy.
Yes.
So when we hear relationship goals,
Yes.
Beyonce, Jay-Z, Will and Jada, Remy Ma, Papoose, are those relationship goals? Because a lot of people aspire for what they see on social media.
Right, and you know what? I think that's really important that we bring up the social media aspect, because that does have something to do with the way we see ourselves reflected, and maybe we do inspire to some of these situationships. I don't think we should be aspiring to anybody's relationship as a benchmark for what we should be emulating in our own lives. I don't think that we should be emulating celebrities, because as you know, we only get a piece of the story. We don't see their day-to-day. We don't see their everyday life. We don't see what they go through. So I think that it's limiting for us to have a mentality that's focused on celebrity relationships.
Definitely agree. I think that social media is a facade in general. So it's super dangerous when you are comparing real life relationships to what you're seeing online.
I want to bring in some data. Yale researchers argue that, quote, marriage chances for highly educated Black women have declined over time relative to white women. Kendra, what do you think attributes to that steady decline?
Because I think of how we're really socialized, especially in our community. We are socialized as strong and independent. And once we get the degree, the money, the profession, once we have mobility, once we have those things, we have decided largely as Black women that the union of marriage is unnecessary. And we have actually whittled down the marriage to just the finances. If I can do the finances myself, I don't need to have a union. And that's really a form of selling out.
The term sellout is something that I truly, I would say is pretty harsh, but I don't agree with that at all, on the sense of Black women that are now educated, who are financially stable. Their standards of not tolerating just anything to come into their life and disrupt their peace is more the reason why they won't marry, or why we won't consider a companion. If I put in the work, in the time to make myself my better version of myself, I'm not going to marry someone who, first and foremost, most of the time, if they can't provide financially, that's fine. You need someone who can accommodate you with the other things, emotional, mental, those type of support systems in your life. And if somebody's not contributing that type of thing to your life, then there's no reason for them to be there. So now the standard is you actually have to have substance.
And I still stand by my statement of selling out. When you sell something out, or when a person sells out, it's not just relegated to the entertainment issues or other types of things. A person sells out when they sell the spiritual part of themselves for money. Black women have forgotten the true reason for being married.
What is the true reason of being married from your perspective, since you're saying Black women are selling out? That's a very strong statement to make.
Black men and Black women under the duress of slavery could not get married. They didn't want us creating the union at all. So what we were doing was we were going behind the shed and jumping the broom to be with one another. Because at some point our ancestors understood that the union actually made us strong.
I feel like now it's not something that you have to do. It's something that you can choose to do.
I think that with a lot of Black women, we're realizing that we might have at one point said we wanted to get married or to have a relationship, but as the years have gone on, we don't behave in a manner that aligns with being in a relationship or getting married. And so when that happens, you have two decisions. You can either change your behavior to align with wanting to get married, or you can change your thought and say, I don't want marriage. And I think that a lot of women are choosing the latter instead of making the adjustments that are needed to be in a healthy relationship.
I don't agree with that. That last part you said, for women to have a hard time adjusting, you have to keep in mind, just because a man is a man doesn't make him a great leader. Some women are very strong intellects. And a lot of times, if you don't have someone who can cultivate your mind, a lot of times you don't want to submit to people who you don't trust their judgments.
Can it exist without a man, Kendra?
No, Black family units do not exist without men. Black people, since we've been in this country, have been striving for unity. We have been striving for togetherness. How can we come together and have better mobility in this country as a group of people? We've found ourselves unable to really move forward in this country, and we wonder why. We can't unify at the basic level that people unify, and that's in a marriage. We can't have communities if there's no family. What do we think this stuff is built out of?
You're hearing three women who are passionate about sharing their viewpoints, which shows a dynamic conversation, the kind of conversation we need to have on air. How are you processing a lot of their responses?
It's so interesting to hear all these different takes because, Naima, I think this concept is very layered. And for me, I'm a huge proponent of Black love. I believe in it, I champion it, I root for it. But I think within our community, the way that we define family is in terms of a nuclear family. A mom, a dad, 2.5 kids, the dog, the white picket fence. And I think that the way we quantify family has to change because families look different for everybody and they should look different for everybody.
Thank you all for chiming in. I don't want this conversation to end. I wish I could talk about it forever, but we ran out of time. We're gonna be right back because guess what? The Black Entertainment
Walk of Fame, yes.
How was it? How was the ceremony?
Oh my gosh, the ceremony was so beautiful, Naima. It was so nice to be able to come together and celebrate some of our favorites and give them their flowers in a city that's been a cultural hub for Black history. I mean, what better place to do it than Atlanta?
Looking forward to that. Also ahead, Black creators calling for their cut of the social media pie. What you need to be saying when it comes to knowing your worth. That's straight ahead.
Yo, it's your boy Dallas Austin. You watching Revolt Black News, and you know what? We're in the ATL. Welcome home, y'all.